Hey everybody, you're watching Call the Corn Star, and welcome to the 100% restoration and remodel of my great-great-grandfather's $7,000 mansion. Today our crew is going to consist of Roman and I, and we are going to be working on a few different things, starting in the underground movie theater. Between our vertical pieces of rebar, we have a keyway board. We need to get the concrete broken up on the sides of this so that way we can get some pry bars under here, and then rip this board out so that way we can get our keyway exposed. And so we want it to look like this by the time we get everything all said and done. Once we get that done, we have a few different options of things that we need to do. I don't know the exact order, I just know that they all need to be done. We are going to have a whole bunch of wood forms down here that we need to just get thrown out of here so that way we can actually work. We need to get our vertical pieces of rebar straightened so that way they are perfectly straight up and down, because we still need to build on top of those. And then we need to do some digging along the sides of our forms to get our conduit pipes exposed. So there is one right here. I know we have one down there where the yellow jackhammer is, and then there is one hiding somewhere over there near the bump out, and then we actually have 4 of them over on that little 5-foot wall where the black tile line is coming down. And then if we have time, we are going to take the mini excavator and we need to dig this whole dirt face back about another 2 feet.
Are you done messing around? Because I'm doing some business here. As we're facing the cold time of the year, we must have something hot to drink. And plus, this is gonna lure Justin back in too.
Oh, not gonna lie, that is super satisfying. Now, all of those things outside are going to be done in no particular order. They just all need to be done. So however we want to go about it is how we are going to go about it. Roman is going to get started outside first though, because I do have some computer work that I need to take care of. There's actually a couple things that I need to do on the computer. First things first, we have our concrete footings poured down below. I sent an email yesterday to the form rental place with all the dimensions of everything. They responded back, so I'm going to just get everything confirmed with the form rental people. And then secondly, the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, claims that we owe them $25,990. Our CPA says that we do not. And so, long story short, the IRS put a levy on us for the $25,990, and they just took that the other day. So I'm going to try to get a hold of the IRS and see if we can get to the bottom of this and see if we can get our money back. Uh-oh, we got ourselves some bad news when it comes to the forms. It looks like it could take 8 to 10 days for them to come in. I guess that this is another prime example of where my inexperience comes into play, and I did not get things ordered ahead of time. And I guess the reason why we did not order things ahead of time is because we wanted to make sure we had exact dimensional measurements of what our rebar structure came out to. So we waited until after we poured to get the measurements. So I guess here we are waiting for 8 to 10 days, which honestly, also not the end of the world, because it's going to give us time to get our perimeter tile drain in. It's going to give us time to get our interior perimeter tile drain in, and well, I guess anything else that we need to do prior to concrete being poured, we'll have plenty of time to get it done. So I guess this is where it comes down to Roman. If we get done with all this stuff in like 3 days, then what are we gonna do for the other potentially 7?
Drink coffee all day long. What else are you supposed to do?
And just like that, okie dokie. Forms are now ordered, or they're doing their thing on there, and let's call the IRS. Sorry, my bad. I misspoke on the amount. $25,990.03.
Iowa Department of Revenue. I'm currently out of office and will not be able to return your call until after November 12th, 2024.
Okay, we're not gonna try to call her right now. We'll call somebody else.
For Iowa individual income tax questions, press 1. For sales and use tax questions, press 2.
You are the second caller in the queue. Your estimated wait time is less than 30 seconds.
Sometimes it can be 2 hours.
Thank you for holding. May I have your name, please?
So I got a levy notice on my corporation, and I have called you guys like 5 times trying to figure out where this levy is even coming from, because when I visit with my CPA, he says he's not seeing anything on his end showing a record of us owing anything. And anyway, the other day, you guys ended up putting a levy on our bank account, and you took $26,000 from us. So I guess I would like to know why and see if we can get to the bottom of this.
Okay, so yeah, at this time for July 31st, 2023 on the corporation account, I'm seeing that balance. What did you think your tax should have been for 2023 on the corporation?
0, because I had a loss. We had an operating loss.
Okay. Then what I'll have to do is have the corporation department pull your actual return and give you a call.
Okay.
What's a good callback number for you? Okay, they should give you a call within 3 business days, but is there anything else I could help you with at this time?
No, that should be it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a good day, and thanks for calling.
See, I like that. When they're nice to you and they sound like they want to be on the phone, like you can tell she's smiling, it just makes you want to talk to them. And then you have a nice cordial conversation, even though they literally came in and swiped 26 grand from us, that we are 99.9999999999999% confident that we do not owe. You still want to be nice to them because they're nice to you. So we're going to get to the bottom of this. But I guess in the meantime, I guess we could wait up to 3 business days.
I am going to continue my journey of popping these keyway boards. We don't have much left anymore. The only thing that this corner is going to be probably the most difficult corner, just because it wasn't supported by the board. It would never installed anything to prevent it from sagging down, and we were stepping on it when we were pouring, we were abusing it, so it did sink in more than the others. So it's just gonna require a little bit more chipping with the hammer drill, but I'm sure it's still gonna pop right out, just a little bit more effort. So we have this little section and entire section behind me all the way to the other rebar. Here, I'll give you a closer look to this sunken in corner that I was talking about. And given we have a concrete a little bit higher, someone didn't really screed the concrete away, which I guess still gonna work out. But you see, you can barely see the board underneath of this concrete, which the way we want it to see is like that, and it's gonna pop right out. But here we'll just have to dig it out with a hammer drill in order for that board to come up. And then also something I realized afterwards, when the guys were installing these uprights, we should have actually installed them a little bit away from the board, because what's happening now, these are so close to the board that that's what actually pinching the board in place, and that's what we get when the board has a weak spot, because there is just so much force you need to apply to pop it right out, that where there is a weak spot in the board, it just simply breaks and you have to start over again. Overall, it's not bad. It just the weak spots, like I said, on the boards that are making it break. But it's been pretty good so far. Maybe in an hour and a half, 2 hours, I was able to do like 80 feet of it. So not bad.
Sweet! We are done with computer work. Now I'm just throwing this out there. If you see me walking around today and it looks like I'm walking on Legos, it's because it feels like I am. I just bought some custom boots. Well, I actually ordered them like 6 months ago, but it took 6 months for them to be made. But they came, and they are literally the exact shape of my foot for width, and then for length, well, we got a little bit on the end, but they are the stiffest leather that I have ever experienced. Like, look at this. I'm trying to push my ankle as far forward as I can right now, and that's all I can get right there. And then look at this. I tried to bend my toe. I might as well be a ballerina right now. I have a ton of weight sitting right on my toe. I'm sitting on my heel with the back of my leg. Look at that. I cannot even get it to crease whatsoever. So I am in the break-in period of these boots, and I have probably 10 hours with them on my feet right now. They say it's going to take about 100 before they start to break in, but it is rough right now. How do your feet feel, Roman?
Warm. Very comfortable. You see how flexible everything is? How are your feet doing?
All right, get back to work. So it looks like while I was on the computer, Roman got the rest of our keyways out. So these are all done. We are now ready to move on to our vertical pieces of rebar. We need to get all of these bent perfectly straight up and down. Now, when we get in areas like this, these ones aren't too far out of plumb, so it just takes a little bit of tugging on them to get them straightened out. But there's some areas that, well, I'll show you. When we take a look down the side, these should all be perfectly straight with each other. We can see some of them are pretty far out of whack. Got a prime example right here. At least these ones aren't too bad when you just have to push it straight into the other side. You just got to do this a couple times. I'm probably gonna need both hands, but we'll get there. Yeah, that looks a lot better already. And then we got some like this that when we were pouring the concrete, they ended up crossing over with each other. So opposite on this one, we just tug on them a little bit. It's not too bad when you have to tug or if you have to push. It's when you have to go side to side that is pretty difficult. Right here we have a doorway, so we can easily push from that side. But when you get in here and you have to somehow wedge yourself in and push, everything's in the way and the tops of these are sharp, it's a little difficult to straighten them out. How come when you bend them it looks so easy?
It's not easy. That's why when you say, oh, not a big deal, I'm like, okay, good luck. This run is done, and I'm actually surprised that it took only 30 minutes to do it. Maybe I should slow down because after all I get paid by the hour. In all seriousness, it's actually a good workout. It pushes you to the limit to make that rebar bend the way you want it to go, and you can almost feel it in your joints, which just enough stress to the joints, your bones and tendons, only makes it stronger. If you go a little bit too much, then it's gonna start to ache and you're gonna injure yourself. So we're careful with that. We're gonna pick another run and go out that way. Like with everything else in life, the more you do things, the more you become proficient in them. So in case with this rebar, we started doing it with using the level on every single one of the rebar pieces But then after doing it for a while, I realized, why do I have to put it on every single one of them? If I have several ones started, lined up, and all leveled up or plumbed up, then I can use the first ones as a reference, and then all I have to do just basically use them as a, I don't know, like the sight, basically, like an aiming sight. And then every single next one, I'm gonna go in, bend, make sure it's all lining up, and that's how I was able to speed up the process. Pretty genius, huh?
Roman and I now have most of our vertical pieces of rebar completely straightened. We just have a couple left to do in the middle, and then we have some to do right here going across. But I just missed a call from the IRS, so Roman hopped in the mini excavator. He's going to start digging that back because that is just a one-guy job right now. And I'm gonna see if I can get to the bottom of this tax levy.
With Iowa Department of Revenue. Please leave your name, account number, and telephone number, and I will return your call within 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, man. Shouldn't have missed that phone call. Okay, I guess now we will go outside and work and have our phone on high, and hopefully we don't miss another phone call. Ah, the stairs are... Oh, they're so scary right now. Oh, this is gonna hurt. We did it, stairs. Take that. When I'm standing, moving around, pulling on stuff, you know, exerting some force through my feet and forcing my ankle to bend, it seems like they start to feel pretty good. They start to loosen up a little bit. But when I sit down, I don't know if it's just the way the blood flows into my foot and it fills up or something. But when you stand up, it's almost the equivalent of when your feet fall asleep and then you try to stand up and walk. Mixed with having sore legs, but instead of sore legs, it's sore feet. Combine those together, that's what it feels like. Hey, Roman! Is that OSHA approved?
Yeah, I have a seatbelt on. It's on the seat, so it doesn't beep.
So while Roman's continuing to dig this backside, I'm gonna finish straightening out the last of these vertical pieces of rebar. Whale. If we take a look, they're not perfect, but they are straight enough to do what we need to do with them. There was two against the wall right there I was not able to get to. We will have to probably get a cheater bar and then somehow maybe stand up on where this tarp is to be able to reach in there with a cheater bar and pull those straight. But all the other ones we should have at a nice level of acceptance now to be able to put our vertical pieces on. So next step, I'm gonna hop in the skid loader. Roman's got a pretty big dirt pile on the other side of the mini excavator. I'm gonna move that dirt pile away so that way Roman can keep digging. And then once we get a little bit more pulled back here and all the dirt piles over there gone, then we are going to try to figure out how we can get down there, maybe with the skid loader, to be able to get the rest of the dirt out. Can't feel my feet. They are asleep and I think they're cold, but I wouldn't really know. Well, they might just be cold. They might not be asleep. I don't know because my boots are tight and they hurt my feet, but once they're broken in, these things are gonna be like wearing a pair of slippers around, and it's gonna be awesome. But for right now, yeah, there. Now before I get pushing with the skid loader, we're gonna open up the door here in the heated shop, and then we need to start up the compactor. We turn the gas off on it, but when you turn the gas off, there is still gas that is in, where do we need to go? Right here, right there. There's still gas that's in there, and it seems like it wants to drip a little bit, or somehow, because it's super fumy in here and it smells like gasoline. So the only way that we can get rid of that is if we turn the gas off right here, and then we start it, and then we just let it run until the bowl runs empty, and then we don't have any problems. So I'm going to do that right now, and then we can leave our packer in here. Ooh. Come on. Takes a jerk to start it. Might have to turn the gas on to get it to start. Oh, I know what would help. If I turn the key on. There we go. Oh, let's turn the old gas off now. There, now let's try it. Hey, we did it. Fire up the throttle a little bit. We don't want it to bounce. We just want it to burn a little bit more fuel a little faster. So that way we're not sitting here for 5 minutes. Never fails. I don't ever get phone calls until I'm doing something important. So I got a phone call in the middle of this. It ran out of gas. We're now ready to hop into the skid loader and start moving some dirt. So it's a little hard to see, but I got plowing into my dirt pile, and then I started running out of room to put my dirt. So I ended up taking the skid loader and building a ramp all the way up to the top of this pile, so now I can push everything on the backside. And just when I got that done, Roman asked if I could come pick up this rebar. So I'm gonna try to scoot down here with the forks, pick up that rebar, and then Roman's going to try to take the little skid loader and see if he can scoot right beside this dirt wall and our concrete footing, and see if we can get in there and clear all that dirt out all the way to the back corner. And then once we get into the back corner, if we can, we're gonna try to be able to turn that way and then be able to do the same thing along that back wall. It's a lot easier doing it with the machines than by hand.
We got everything out that we could with our main JCB skid loader, and I was thinking that little ding-dong case is gonna be able to turn here, but no, it just burying itself and starts to spin wheels. So I grabbed the shovel, was thinking that that might be the way to do it, but Cole suggested to try the mini excavator, so we're gonna park it right here in hopes that we can get at least half of it or most of it out. So we shall see. What are you doing?
Warming up.
Is it a boots you're warming up, or?
No, I'm warming up my shoveling muscles. Oh yeah, he's gonna be able to get most of that. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness, I have been looking forward to this. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's so tight. It's the top of my foot is the tight part. So you gotta loosen all these. Oh, 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 yeah. You can see it in my sock creases right there. That is from the boot where it has been pushing on that little bone right there on the top of my foot. Oh yeah, my pinky toe has also been taking a beating, and a little bit at the back of the heel. Not terrible on the back of the heel, but right there, that is the most painful spot. But wow, that feels good. Now we're gonna do boot number 2. Left foot's been hurting more than right foot. Oh, this is like when you get done skiing at the end of the day when you get to take your boots off. Oh yeah, that feels so good. Oh, the pressure is releasing. Oh, take a look at that one. That one was even worse. We were getting it all through there. Those are creases in my sock from the boot, not it being scrunched up. I pulled my sock all the way tight this morning. Then over there too. That's a little bit tender right there on the side right now. But we just gotta break these bad boys in. Once they're broken in, they're gonna be awesome. But right now, whew. So we ended up getting darked out, and the dark came at a good time because if we look out here closely now in front of the light, it is also raining. So we would have been rained out if it would have stayed light. But now, Dad and I are going to be working on some fun stuff here at the table. My wife got me a smoothie, so I'm going to be enjoying this. Thank you, Neva.
You're welcome.
And then Dad and I are going to be putting together questions that we would like our attorney to ask on deposition that we have next week for the $1 million Bensite lawsuit. So Dad and I are going to sit down and figure out some questions, I guess.
Not fun. Not fun.
You look very serious. You should go get a suit on.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think in my head here. But we'll be ready.
Wow, Neva, that is an organized refrigerator.
Thank you. And I just bought all these groceries. And I'm going to put them in here.
Oh, yeah, Dad we better get to working on his deposition stuff.
Yeah, we better.
Unless you guys want to help me put groceries away.
Dad and I made it a couple hours in. We ended up coming up with 29 new questions. I probably have a good half a day worth of information that I can still go through to add to more questions. So I'm not fully done with this yet, but we have a really nice start. It is starting to get late and we're starting to get tired, and we're starting to get to the point where it's like when you read a book and you read a sentence, and you're like, wait, what did that say? And then you read it again, and you're like, I didn't get it that time. So then you read it again, and then you find yourself looking at the back of your eyelids. So we are starting to get to that point, so it is safe to say that it is the perfect time to call it a night. So this is all we got for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.